Alrighty, so 2.4, we're doing more with linear equations. The first thing we're going to do is standard form of an equation. So if you don't remember this is a, big A, little x, plus b, little y equals c. And then what's important is a, b, and c are all whole numbers / integers. Okay, so they can be I spelled integers wrong, sorry. So integers, if they, so it could be positive or negative, but it has to be a whole number. No fractions, no decimals. Okay, so A, B, and C are just numbers. So the first one, write equation of a line in standard form with integer coefficients. So, okay, what do you notice about standard form? One thing I probably should talk about this first. It's going to have something x plus something y equals a number. So the constant, that number needs to be by itself on one side of the equation. Okay, this one, it looks like, where's our constant? It's 2, right? So we need to get the 2 by itself and make sure that we don't have any fractions or decimals. So we just need to move that 3x over, and since it's positive, we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. Can you do negative 3x and y? Can you combine those? The answer is no, because they're not like terms. So we have negative 3x, positive y, those cancel, equals 2. Does it look like that's in standard form? Yes, it does. So you're good. That's your answer. That's it. Okay, this one. Again, we need the constant number by itself. So let's subtract 3/4 x from both sides. So negative 3/4 x plus y equals negative 5. Okay, we have a problem. What's the problem? Well, the problem is that we have a fraction. Okay, so that x has a fraction, right? Do you have any ideas of how I can get rid of that fraction and make it a whole number, an integer? Well, let's see could you multiply it by something to get rid of that denominator? The answer is yes. There's a few different ways to do it, but the best way is by the smallest number. So let's multiply it by 4. Because if I multiply it by 4, it cancels out that denominator, right? Which is what we wanted. So remember, when you multiply something by 4 on an equation, you have to multiply every single piece. So now, so let's write it out over here so you can see a little bit better. 4 times negative 3/4. That would cancel with that, and so you're left with negative 3. So this gives me negative 3x. 4 times positive y gives me positive 4y. And then 4 times negative 5 gives me negative 20. Is it in standard form? Yes. No fractions or decimals, so we are good to go. That is your answer. Okay, this next one. I'm going to go ahead and move over that 4x. So that would give me negative 4x plus y equals negative 4/5. Okay, what's the problem? We've got a fraction. So what number can I multiply that fraction by to make it a whole number? Well, the answer to that is I can multiply it by 5, right? You could do negative 5, but let's just not even mess with it. Let's just do 5. So this would give you negative 20x, right? Because negative 4 times x times 5 is negative 20x, plus 5 times y is 5y. Negative 4/5 times 5, that cancels with that, so you would have equals negative 4. Is it in standard form? Yes. There's your answer. Last one. Let's add 3/5 x to both sides. So I have positive 3/5 x plus y equals positive 2. All right, multiply everything by 5. That becomes 3x plus 5y equals 10. Okay, so that's how you go from slope-intercept to standard form. All right, so now let's talk about how to graph an equation in standard form. So when you do this, you find the intercepts. So we've already talked about y-intercept in the last lessons. So y-intercept is where it crosses, the y-axis. So therefore, the x-intercept must be where it crosses the x-axis. So when you do this, you find those intercepts, and then you plot those two intercepts and draw a line to connect the two. Okay, so in order to find it, you're like, well, how do you find the intercepts? Let me tell you. So to find the x-intercept, you set y equal to 0 and solve. Okay, and to find the the y-intercept, you do the opposite. You set x equal to 0 and then solve it. Okay, so let's find the intercepts of of the graph and graph each line. So what do you want to do first? X-intercept? Sure. So what do you do to your x-intercept? Well, you put your y value as 0. So that would be 3x plus 5 times 0, because we're plugging in 0 for y, equals 15. Well, 5 times 0 is 0, so this is 3x equals 15. Divide by 3. So your x-intercept is 5. Sweet, we found one. Let's find the other one. So I've got 3, this time 3 times 0, because we're plugging in, I need to write this down, the y-intercept. So we're plugging in 0 for the x. So 3 times 0 plus 5y equals 15. 3 times 0 is 0, so we have 5y equals 15. Divide by 5. So y equals 3. Okay, so we did all that work. Let's do the easy part in plotting them. So the x-intercept, where it crosses the x-axis, has to be the x, is at positive 5. And where it crosses the y-axis is at positive 3. All right, we've got our 2 points. Draw a line. Let me try one more time. Good enough. Draw your arrows. And you've got it done. Okay, this next one, this formatting is a little weird. So let's find the x-intercept first. So we're going to set y equal to 0. So 2x minus 4 times 0 equals 8. So we have 2x equals 8. Divide by 2. So your x-intercept is 4. All right, so then our y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis, is when x equals 0. So 2 times 0 minus 4y equals 8. 2 times 0 is 0, so I have negative 4y, don't forget the negative, equals 8. Divide by negative 4. So those cancel, you have y equals negative 2. Okay, so let's plot them. So on the x-axis, we're plotting 4. And on the y-axis, we're plotting negative 2. Draw a line. Oops, I can never get it the first try. Draw a line to connect them with your arrows. There you go. 2 more, and then we are done. Sweet, this is going to be a shorter video. Okay, so let's do the x-intercept is 2x minus 5 times 0 equals 15. Uh-oh, it's okay, it's all right. 2x equals 15. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So x is 15 over 2, or on this one, you can write it as a decimal if you want. 7.5. That's what 15 over 2 is. Okay, the y-intercept is when x equals 0, so 2 times 0 minus 5y equals 15. So I have negative 5y, because that's 0, equals 15. Divide by negative 5. So y equals 15 divided by negative 5 is negative 3. Okay, I know we have a fraction in decimals. Just don't freak out. So let's plot. I'm going to do the whole number. So y-axis, it's negative 3. The x-axis is 7.5, which is right in between 7 and 8. So right there. Draw a line. First try, nailed it. Look at me go. Okay, so that's a pretty straight line, actually. All right, last one. Finish strong. So we're going to do the x-intercept. That's when y equals 0. So I have 4x plus 3 times 0 equals 12, aka 4x equals 12. Divide by 4, x is 3. The y-intercept. Y-intercept is when what equals 0? Well, that would be when x equals 0. So I have 4 times 0 plus 3y equals 12. So 3y equals 12. Divide by 3. So your y-intercept is 4. All right, plot them. So on the y-axis, it's 4. On the x-axis, it's 3. Connect. First try again. Not quite as straight as the last one. It's okay. All right, that is it for standard form and graphing. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.